Hello and welcome back to the Bad Movie Reviews channel, hosted by none other than your two favourite Aussie chaps, Ben and Daniel. For the it's been a bit of a hiatus, 2 weeks probably since we last uploaded, or a week and a half since our last video, which was actually an MCU ranking leading into the film we're going to review, which is Antman and the WASP: QUANTUMANIA. Now it has been out for a week. Unfortunately, we couldn't record this due to me being away from work, but
me just being lazy.
Well, I guess the good thing about it is we've kind of had a little bit of time to settle initially from when we've seen it. I've actually seen it twice.
Oh, cool.
First time I was a little bit drunk and then fell asleep during the film.
Great.
And then the second time I saw it normally. And
I'm glad.
Look, yeah, the second time I wasn't drunk, didn't fall asleep. But that doesn't mean it's any, I guess hearsay on the actual film itself.
Ignore that part altogether.
I had a few, bottles of,
not
bottles, sorry, a few
movies.
glasses. Yeah, I had nothing else to do in a different state. You know what it's like. Anyway, what were your initial thoughts? I know at the start of the year when we did our most anticipated, this was actually your number one Marvel film. So it was higher than Guardians initially. The only other film's the Marvels anyway, so I don't think that would have been in there. But it was higher than Guardians, so you were looking forward to this film, I guess, a little bit more than me. But what were your thoughts overall?
Look,
first film of Phase 5 too, so
I don't know how to kind of describe
articulate
exactly what. Yeah, I kind of went into this film. I'd already seen some like sneak previews and some short reviews, and they were very mixed. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a very mixed film going into this. So I think I already had that like
very
unconscious
average,
expectation. But I went in, I actually really enjoyed this film. I liked a lot of it. I'm not sure exactly kind of the overall value it has to the universe they're trying to build, but I enjoyed it all together. It was just a good time. It was great. There's lots of lovable characters, some that were a little bit too far away from their comic originals, but look, I enjoyed this film. I'm not sure there was too much standout. It was beautiful. Like, it was awesome to look at. It was one of the most gorgeous films I've seen in a while. Would have been interesting to see what it looked like in 3D, but look, it was good. It was good. The acting, once again, Paul Rudd, is it? Yeah. He you like how I had to question that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did exactly what he does in every movie,
fine,
and he was pretty good. There was no like absolutely phenomenal standout, but he had his perfectly timed, humorous points as always. And look, I thought it was pretty good. I like the addition of his daughter in this film and their kind of like bonding that they go through, I guess. Look, there's a few points when it comes to plot. They're a little bit plot holy, I guess, but I can see why they put them there so that they could continue to build this universe. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought the audio design was very nice. I really enjoyed that aspect. And as I said, it was a very gorgeous looking film. But it did miss a few beats when it came to probably plot overall and some character development based stuff for myself. But look, I enjoyed this film. Yeah, that's definitely my opinion on this one. What did you think of it? No, we'll go off your second time, not your first. But what did you think of this film? I didn't go into too much detail then.
I have a love-hate relationship with this film. I love certain aspects, but I also really didn't like it.
That's fair.
I feel like it's a middle of the road film for me, like in terms of Marvel. Like, I don't think it's the worst. I think at the current state, it's the exact same rating as Eternals. So it's the second, like the lowest rated MCU film on Rotten Tomatoes with Eternals. It's the exact same.
A lot better than Eternals.
I actually prefer Eternals over this. Okay. I thought Eternals plot was really good. The reason why I didn't like this film, I'll start off with the cons. It really felt like a 2-hour commercial for what's to come. It didn't really feel like a movie whatsoever for me. Like, there wasn't anything tying in to the previous Ant-Man films. And what for me made the first Ant-Man film so great is the fact that you've obviously got this shrinking situation, and it's played on in the Thomas the Tank Engine fight where he's running, on guns, and it's just like they really utilize the fact that he can grow small, get get big, obviously, is more in Captain America, Civil War, I think. But they really capitalize on that. But as soon as you take Ant-Man, a character who can shrink and grow big, and put him in the quantum realm where it's space is just a construct basically, and everything's big, the whole aspect of it doesn't really work for me. And I think the only reason they really put Ant-Man in it is because he's already been to the quantum realm. But this really felt like it was just a film to set up Kang. Yeah. And they basically went, Ant-Man's been to the quantum realm, let's chuck him there. I thought where this film, and then in terms of, as I said, I'll probably touch on cons first. The Cassie character I liked, but like the amount of time, some of the dialogue's just not great. Like she says dad probably 48 times, and it's just like dad, and then they hug, and then dad, and then they hug like 20 seconds later. It's just like,
wish I had that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I wish I had that instead of a belt. No, that never happened. I apologize. That never happened. Anyway, soon to be cancelled. No, but and then you said it actually was quite a beautiful film. I do agree when it was in the quantum realm, like it is quite beautiful, but I also felt like unironically it was very beautiful, but then it had some of the worst CGI I've seen in Marvel films to date. Specifically one character, MODOK.
Yeah, well.
Which we'll touch on a little bit later, but he looked absolutely awful. And it's come out, as we said, we're reviewing this film a week late. As it's come out, apparently they've kind of pushed back the Marvels due to the backlash of this film for post-production, because this film's had a lot of backlash on how it looks at times. And it's a $200 million film, and you can quite easily see when like Ant-Man, like Paul Rudd and Cassie's character are standing there, you can quite easily see the outline of like the volume and the green screen. Like it's, you can, like, there's no depth of field there in certain situations. It just looks like they're plastered there, and then there's the background. It kind of took me out a little bit of it. So that's, I guess, one con as well. While being beautiful, and I think they really did pay attention to the establishing shots of the quantum realm and things like that, when there's characters and there's background, it didn't look great for me. And then I just feel like there were certain characters which were completely wasted. Like you bring in Bill Murray, one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, and he's in it for 3 minutes, a complete waste. There's also the guy who can read minds, who's a seriously good actor in, I think it's The Good Place.
It is, yep.
He was in the film completely wasted, and it felt like the script, certain things were placed there early on and then didn't really, just kind of faltered and disappeared until the last 5 minutes when it kind of suited their needs. Which just feels like everything's falling into place. And to go to the pros, it's not all negative. To go to the pros, I did enjoy Paul Rudd again. Everyone was good in the film. I felt like the strongest, where the film was actually the best for me was Michelle Pfeiffer's character. I forgot her name. Janice. She was really good, and I really liked all that backstory, and I really wish they kind of played on that a bit more and actually made it I actually genuinely think this film would have been better if it was a Janice film rather than Ant-Man, because they had the backstory there to really set that up.
I agree.
And then the film starts and they get sucked into the quantum realm within 30 seconds. So there's no like character development for Cassie, who's been obviously living in the blip while Paul Rudd's, Ant-Man's disappeared for 5 years. Like, you don't know anything about her character, and you just know that, I've had no dad for 5 years. So that was kind of annoying. But I think the film where I love the film is really Jonathan Majors as Kang. He is seriously good and imposing. Good. It'll be like, there's a meme and it's literally him holding up the earth and it just says Jonathan Majors and Phase 5 Marvel, because we've openly talked about the fact that Marvel, since Infinity War and Endgame, it's kind of dipped a bit. Like there's been a few good films, but overall the quality's dipped, and I think it's because they're churning so much out, which they've obviously tried to rectify by announcing, we're going to do 2 TV shows rather than 4 a year or whatever, and these films are getting
expectations
delayed.
Is a big part of that too. Once you start delivering those great films, people are going to expect it every single time, and the moment you fall slightly short, it's massively short.
But then you need to take your time, you know what I mean? You can't be like, rather than...
I agree.
You'd think as a company, we've made all these great products, we are universally loved by, film goers and people who are into film. Let's take our time and make sure like there's a quality assurance to it, rather than trying to churn out and kind of become a little bit, like a marketing company and just try and make the most money they can.
Yeah.
That's where it's kind of felt like a bit astray, but everyone kind of, I think, phones in their performance to an extent, really, except Jonathan Majors. Like, he came to play, he ate up with, with leftovers. Like,
Yeah.
every time he's on the screen, it's like genuinely riveting. And I think the film was very average until he walks in. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that scene where he walks in, I genuinely thought I'm interested in where this film's going as soon as he came in. And I enjoyed that. It was probably the best post-credit scenes in a while for Marvel. They've been really, really faltered. I enjoyed them, but I felt like it was Kang's movie, and that's where I really loved it. And that's where it kind of becomes a decent movie for me, is really on that. And Marvel have never really had many great villains. And when they have, it's always been a good movie. Like, you've got Killmonger, like Vulture, Thanos. Like, that's when they elevate. I think just overall the script kind of, or the story, not the script, but the story, as I said, it just, to me, felt like a 2.5 hour or 2 hour commercial for what's to come, rather than trying to finish off a trilogy for Ant-Man.
I agree with that completely, yeah. But it was a great commercial.
Yeah, sure.
It was an enjoyable commercial.
It was a $200 million film. When you put it like that, like a $200 million film, and
it's like 3 minutes for a Super Bowl ad, isn't it?
yeah, I think Super Bowl is like 12 million for 30 seconds or something drastic. In terms of films, we've seen films this year that have costed 20, 30 million probably, and looked, like, in my opinion, looked better.
Probably.
It's, by all means, I think Guardians does look seriously good. So hopefully that kind of, for me, I know you enjoyed it, but for me, I really hope Guardians comes in, the trailers come out, it looks like an emotional ride. I really hope that, because, I enjoyed Wakanda Forever. I actually really enjoyed that, but I just felt like Marvel's lost me a little bit. And
I agree.
it is unfortunate because I still really enjoy them when I see them. It's just like, I used to be excited for these films, and I remember it came out and I literally forgot, like, for this film, to be honest. Like, I was like, fuck, I need to go see it to review it. But it did let me down because I was looking forward to it. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone's saying. Like, everyone's saying,
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst Marvel film with Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I think we don't give ratings, but I think, like, we did the MCU tier. I think it'd be, for me, like, bottom of C.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd say bottom of
very
C.
middle of the road. Like, I don't think it's Captain Marvel or Thor: Love and Thunder level. Like, Thor: Love and Thunder, by far and away, I think is the worst Marvel film, and it's not even close.
I agree.
I would give this, like, I'd say this is 3 times better than Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
It just let me down, but the one thing I was looking forward to was Kang, and that really delivered, so I can't really falter that too much. But Jonathan Majors, it's his world and we're living in it. He's playing the villain in Creed 3, and that looks phenomenal. I think that's out in 2 weeks' time, so catch our review for that. But I had a good time. It just kind of let me down in certain aspects, and I really hope they rectify it going forward, because by all means, from what I've heard, The Flash is seriously good, and that comes out in a few months. Like, they're showing that, I think, next month, like 3 months before it comes out, and that's like Top Gun level of what they did.
Oh, cool.
And like James Gunn.
About time.
What, there's a good Flash movie? Or
Just a good
Well,
DC.
have you watched the trailer?
I have watched the trailer now.
Yeah,
and
it does look good.
it does look really
It
good.
does look really good. But let's hope Marvel picks up their game after that.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure this film will make money, and they probably won't look at it too much. But what can you do? Did you want to touch on spoil? Like, have you got much more to touch on that I touched on?
Not really. I don't even think so when it comes to spoiler, because there's not really too much to spoil.
There's actually not much of a plot. Like,
That's
the thing.
one of the major issues with this film is, there isn't an excessive plot, and there's not excessive character building. It's just like a really awesome introduction. That's pretty much it.
as I literally it just feels like a 2-hour introduction to Kang.
Yeah.
And we've obviously already seen him in Loki, which we'll probably see him in season 2 when that comes out this year as well. But I really hope he's in other films as well, like not just like Thanos, because Thanos obviously appeared here and there, but then was main in Infinity War. I think really building him up, because he genuinely felt horrifying in this film. Like, it genuinely felt like he is a serious villain who is gonna kill everyone.
Yeah.
Which Thanos, it kind of felt like that, but it was kind of straight into it with him. So
Yeah, well, Thanos, like, I don't know how much most viewers know about this universe, but yeah, Thanos, one massive, powerful dude, I'm trying to say, way overpowered. And then you got Kang, who's probably nearly as strong, but the only problem is there's an infinite amount of him. So it's going to create
an issue.
It's a little bit more of a bigger issue.
Yeah, correct. So, look, we probably don't have too much to touch on apart from that MODOK is absolute dog shit, and we'll leave it at that. If you have seen it, which I'm sure you have by now, comment below. Let us know what you think. If you like the film, if you don't like the film, what you're looking forward to in terms of the future of the MCU, which I'm sure is a lot or none. Who knows? Other than that, we'll cap it off there, and we'll catch you next week.
Easy. Thanks, guys.